True stories of people and places, priceless treasures or humble keepsakes. Each with a beginning, none with an ending. The reason? They vanished without trace. Calais, France, on the quiet waters of the harbor, the day of 27th July, 1588. The ships of a great fleet drop anchor. The mighty force of the Spanish Armada lies at rest. The invasion fleet to attack England is waiting. 17,000 soldiers, 7,000 seamen. 130 ships that left Spain. The greatest fleet the world had ever seen, one the Spanish called Invincible. Calais harbor one day later. The captain of one Spanish galleon is worried for 30 million golden reasons.
Why am I selected by the king to command this ship? Why don't I get the prize of the fighting ships of the line?
No one can say you haven't one of the biggest of the galleons, Captain. And the most trusty of seamen and soldiers.
Gee, so I get the trusty ones. But does that make them the best fighters? No, it is honesty we want from them first. And what happens when the English attack?
We wipe them off the face of the sea.
Oh, no, my friend. We, by that I mean every man on every plank of this galleon, we keep away from the thickest part of the fighting. And why?
Captain, we know why, so why tell us again?
Because I have to say it all the time or go crazy. Pay ship of the entire Spanish Navy, a floating treasury, not a fighting ship, but a... it's no use of it.
Perhaps if you worried about the English a little.
What do you mean?
Just that the north wind is blowing from where they are lying out to sea. So why aren't they coming into the harbor to make an attack?
I worry about my own men more than I do the English. I worry at night that they will turn to mutiny.
But each man is handpicked for honesty.
And there's 30 million golden reasons for them to become suddenly dishonest overnight. And if those gold pesos aren't enough, we have to carry the Spanish crown and the crown jewels besides.
All the same, Captain, the English are up to something out there. Take a look through my glass.
Well, I'm pleased Sir Francis Drake is amused at the preparations.
A rollicking surprise to warm the cockles of me heart, Hawkins, my lad. Ships filled with tar and tinder. Fire ships, indeed.
Enough to warm the cockles of the Spaniards' hearts, too, eh, my dear Admiral?
Those poor wretches will never learn. The bigger they build them, the quicker they burn.
The men are waiting for you to give the signal, sir.
Aye, lad. And I'll give it. By tossing a burning tinder into the barrel of tar of that little fire ship alongside. Like so.
Cut the hoses and let the wind catch her adrift. Hold on, sir.
Now there's a sight to cheer the heart of an old salt. All those bundles of fire blowing into the mighty Armada. We could sink half the galleon without firing a single shot.
No greater terror on a ship built of wood, ropes soaked in tar and sails covered in paint, than the fear of fire. When panic and pandemonium can run hand in hand. And so, partly for this reason and partly because of panic, the Duque de Florentia, pay ship of the Armada, is one of the first ships of the Armada to flee. With the first moments of Spanish confusion, Drake leads his fleet of small English ships into the floundering bulk of the galleon force. And the relentless slaughter of the intending invader begins. But one galleon breaks through the cordon of fire, reaches the comparative safety of the North Sea. The Duque di Florentia, the treasure ship.
What do you make through your glass, Jose?
My ears can hardly pick up the sounds of the fighting, but my eyes can see what the English are doing.
See, and it is bad, Jose.
Our wonderful invasion force almost annihilated.
See.
So, now what are the orders, Capitan?
We will maintain our course. Return the gold to Spain. It will help to raise another armada.
Si, Capitan. And give the orders to the men. We go home, by way of Scotland and the Irish Sea.
And so the bow of the great galleon pushes heavily through the dark waters of the North Sea, plows slowly around the northern capes of Scotland, dips southward towards the cold waters of the Irish Sea. And here she runs into her destiny, in the cold fury of a gale-blown sea.
Capitan, we can't make any headway against the wind like this.
I know what the ship can and can't do. But one thing, the storm takes my mind off the worries of guarding our treasure. This way, the seamen are too busy keeping the galleon afloat to be thinking about gold. And the soldiers too sick with the sea to be causing us any trouble.
But you can't run forever into a wind like this.
Don't tell me what to do, Jose. You are commander of the soldiers. I command the ship.
What good is the gold of Spain on the bottom of the ocean?
We won't sink, Jose. The ship is the safest one of the Navy. It had to be. For 30 million gold reasons.
Capitan, the forward lookout is reporting a smooth passage of water on the port side.
Tell the helmsman to maintain his present course. Well, jump to it, or I'll have you in arms.
There's another report, Capitan.
Well, out with it, man.
The ship's taking water in all of the holds.
Well, of course we'll take water with seas breaking over our bows.
The water's coming from below, Capitan. Her seams are opening.
Well, Capitan, it looks as though we make for sheltered waters after all, if only for repairs.
Tell the helmsman to maintain course till I give him a new heading.
Si, Capitan.
What is the name of this bay where we will be heading?
I'm checking it with charts now. See. Its name appears to be Tobermory. A small town. They'll cause us no trouble. Our men will outnumber them 10 to 1.
Tobermory Bay. Peaceful waters, but a turbulent town. True, the inhabitants are outnumbered by the men of the galleon, but the Scottish clansmen still visit the heavily armed galleon, and 2 of the men have words with the captain.
As I was saying, my name is John Smallet, and this is our clan leader, McLean.
And the reason for your visit?
Sir, McLean and me, we want to borrow some of your firearms and ammunition.
You want it? What? Out of the question, completely.
I am a man of few words, Captain, and few graces. You came when we're having a feud. We fight the hosts of Angus MacArls. We fight better with guns. We have none. You have.
See. And we are killing them, senor. Now, adieu. Jose, you may show these men to their boat.
The 2 Scotsmen leave the decks of the galleon, return to the town of Tobermory. There they make a plan, one that will begin with another request for Spanish aid in their fight. And if that fails, a way to teach the Spanish visitors a lesson.
So, no, have you got everything straight in your head, man?
Aye. We go ask the Spaniard again. If he says no, I drop a smouldering piece of lint in the powder room while you distract their attention with argument.
If that does not teach them a lesson, then they'll be too late to be learning another one.
Once more the request is made for assistance. Once again it is refused. And so, in the quiet of the Scottish evening, the two clansmen row across the quiet waters of the bay, back towards Tobermory town.
It's a fine ship she looks against the sun hanging low in the sky.
Aye. Aye, a beautiful sight indeed. Almost like it is cut out of cardboard.
Keep rowing with them oars, my boy.
Aye.
Can I be getting idle hands at this time?
Aye. Yeah. But it's hard to row with a sight like that to behold.
You're sure you dropped the lint in the powder room?
I am sure.
But are you sure it was still smouldering?
Well, now, for that couldn't be. Aye, man, aye. It was still smouldering.
Disagreement over the loan of a few pounds of ammunition and a handful of firearms had come a tragedy that sent one of the world's greatest fortunes to the floor of the ocean. Many have tried to locate it. All have failed. And so the entire payroll of the Spanish Armada, together with the Spanish crown jewels, slipped beneath the ocean almost 400 years ago, and to this day still remains 30 million gold pieces that simply vanished without trace. Listen again for another true-life drama in the fascinating series, Vanished Without Trace. This is an Outranza program written by John Warwick and produced by Jim Bradley.